I have a quick video for you all. I'm gonna let this be quick this time because I'm always talking about it's going to be quick and it don't be quick. Okay. So, what I want to talk to you all about, I received the revelation from church. Yep, I received revelation while in service today, and I said I'm gonna come and share it to my chosen family. And what the revelation was, of course, the pastor is talking about coming out of the shadows, and he's talking about different. Basically, it's a sermon for men, but you can receive something from it too. It's for them, but everything doesn't just apply to them. It could apply to anyone. But anyways, today he was talking about the title of the overall sermon. He's been on it for a couple of weeks now. It's coming out of the shadows. But anyways, he was talking about one of the things. There are 7 things that keep men stuck and keep them bound. But today he's talking about lust, right? He was talking about lust and how lust keeps men stagnant, keep them bound and keep them from moving forward. But anyways, he was talking about, of course, Samson and Delilah, right? And he didn't say it in any way to make it seem like women are just Delilahs. You know how some people take things out of context. No, he was just explaining, and he was reading the story from the Bible. But what I got from the revelation when he was talking about Samson and Delilah over in Judges, and how lust leads up to certain things, and leads up to you being weak, right? Leads up to you just not being your best, right? And that can be for anyone, not just men, women as well. So the revelation I received when he was reading the story of Samson and Delilah, about how Delilah was trying to get Samson to reveal his strength and why he was so strong, what made him so strong. She was trying to get him to reveal his secret. And the revelation I received from that is for you all, the chosen ones. Like, I talk a lot about oversharing, but the revelation I received was, it's not no one's business. It's not anyone's business where you receive your strength, how God tells you to move and do certain things, right? It's not their business, right? So you have to be careful around people who are looking to find information like from you. They're looking to, how do you do this and how do you do that? Not saying, how do you write a book or how do you, write a business plan. I'm not talking about things like that. I'm talking about where your spiritual strength comes from. The things that God tell you to do that is going to give you the strength to remain and keep doing what it is he called you to do. It's not anyone's business what you and God have going on. That's the point I'm trying to make right there. It's not anyone's business. When God tell you to do something, that's not for you to go share with people. When he tell you not to do certain things, not to eat a certain thing, not to go certain places, that's between you and God. Because when you're set apart, when you're chosen, you already know you can't do what everybody else do. But at the same time, it's not anyone's business. It's not their business to be explaining to them and try to justify. You just know that you can't do it. And they don't need to know. You don't have to explain yourself. I caught myself doing a lot of that, trying to explain to people. I don't do that anymore. I stopped doing that. I just tell them no. I just say no. I'm not interested. It's not something I want to do. Knowing I can't do it. Knowing I've been instructed to not do it. Okay? I've been instructed not to do it. And there's reasons why. You've been instructed not to listen to certain things. You've been instructed not to watch certain things. And you know why. You know why. Certain music and watching certain things will take you to a place that you won't have any business being. And that may not be so for anyone else. That's the thing. You have to know your walk. I've always taught and I've always preached that your journey is your journey. Your journey, your walk with God is your walk with God. There is no cookie cutter way, because what you deal with and struggle with, I may not deal with and struggle with. So God is going to deal with you on a personal level. That's why I always tell you to get you a personal relationship. He's going to deal with you on a personal level. He knows the unforgiveness you have in your heart. He knows the things that you struggle with. I may not struggle with what you struggle with, and vice versa. And we have to know that, and we have to be okay with that. Knowing that my struggle is not your struggle, so he's going to deal with us different. He's going to tell me not to do things, but you probably be able to do those things, but I can't do it, or I can't eat it, right? It's certain foods that I can't eat now, right? It's certain types of foods I can't eat, and it has nothing to do with pork, or like, it's just certain things that I know, right, that God told me that this ain't, you and this, y'all don't jive. This don't sit well with your stomach. When you eat this, you're not at your best. It's just things, just small things. So I just wanted to come tell you, they don't need to know all that. They don't need to know everything. They don't need to know where your strength comes from. I had to learn. I used to be a talker. When I tell you, I used to be so free and open. Free and open. If anybody wanted to find out where I was, where I lived, or who, what I liked and didn't like, I was just open. And God had to correct me and told me to stop being, hey Texas, to stop being so open and so free. Because although I mean well, everybody don't mean well around me. Everybody around me is not well. Because my intentions were pure. I felt like I didn't have anything to hide. That just was how I was. I was like, I ain't ashamed. I just don't have anything to hide. But God said that's not wise. I wasn't operating in wisdom. And he had to show me, hold on, you all. He had to teach me to zip it. Zip it. Sit back and observe sometimes. You don't always have to share and over explain and try to justify your no, or try to justify why you don't do something, or try to justify why you can't participate in certain things, or try to justify things. Yes, people gonna feel uncomfortable. They're gonna feel uncomfortable when you decide that, oh, I don't celebrate that. I can't celebrate that. I can't do that. You're gonna make people feel uncomfortable because they're gonna make them look at themselves. And it's not that you're trying, but that's just how it is. That's just how human nature is. But that's what I want to come share with you all. You can't stop telling everybody your strength, what you and God have going on, how you receive your power, the things you do to stay focused, the things you do to stay, to keep your self-control. Like, people don't need to know all that. Don't let the Delilahs get you. The Delilahs is a spirit, so it could be a male or a female. Don't let these Delilahs get you to trip you up. Right? Don't let them get you. Don't let them trip you up. Because people want to know. They see that light on you. They see how you move. They see things you do. People want to know what that is. You can tell them it's the Lord. You can tell them that. You can tell them that, but you don't have to get into details. You can tell them it's your personal relationship, but you don't have to tell them the details of what it is that you do. How you get up at, like, you don't have to tell them that. You can all, they know it's God. They know. You just don't have to be so, detailed, because people are looking to trip you up. Same story about David. Read the story of David in the Bible. He had that spirit of excellence, and I refer to him a lot. He had that spirit of excellence. And people got jealous of that because he was favored at that. Not only was he had the spirit of excellence, he was favored by the king. And the reason he was favored, because he honored his God, right? he honored his God, and he was obedient, and he honored his God regardless of what was going on around him. He did the things God told him to do, and that's where his favor came from. And guess what they did? They made a law to where he couldn't pray at a certain time. And that's what people will do when they know that where your strength come from. They'll attack that thing. They'll come up against that. They'll try to trip you up. And that's what they did. They manipulated the king to create a law that you couldn't pray a certain time of day. Because David, he used to pray a lot. So he prayed a lot. And they saw that. They saw that's where he got his excellence and how God would commune with him and communicate with him. And they didn't want him to pray because that's where he got his strength from. You see what I'm saying? Like people would find out things about you just so they can trip you up. And that's why I say when you tell a person you don't do something or you don't go places or certain things, they don't respect you. They want to trip you up. Oh, it don't take all that. You ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to. No. And people will do that. People try to set you up so you can fall because they don't like that light. They don't like you vibing and vibrating and radiating so much. You're radiating too bright. So they want to put you in a place to where I got you. I told you she was so righteous. I told you she went so spiritual. I told them, like people will come. People will come. That's why the enemy always sin. He will always send things that appeal to your flesh. You don't made your mind up that you weren't going to be fornicating. You weren't finna be having sex outside of marriage. You wouldn't be doing none of this stuff. As soon as you make up your mind, there you go. Some fine, nice looking man, the devil don't send you. Some fine woman got all the measurements. She look good, smell good, smile is good. As soon as you make up your mind, then all of these different spirits come out the woodwork. Because you made up in your mind. Spiritually, the enemy know. People can feel that energetically. You don't made up your mind. You gonna do what's right. Now all of a sudden, you got all these lustful thoughts, and you know everybody coming, flirting with you, playing around with you. That ain't nothing but the devil. That's a distraction. You gotta resist. Resist that temptation. Okay? Resist the devil and he will flee. Rebuke him, And sometimes you got to scare people. Like, I'm going to pray for you. No, I'm not dealing with that. I'm going to pray for you. Sometimes you got to sound religious. So the devil can run, you got to sound religious. That's how you get the devil to run. Because people don't like when you bring up God. They don't like when you be religious and say, I'm going to pray for you. They don't like them words. When you start saying stuff like that, people run from you. So sometimes I do it intentionally. When I don't want people around, no, I'm going to pray for them. I do pray, but when you want folks to leave you alone, he'll flee. Trust me, he'll flee. Oh yeah, she one of them cuckoo believers, one of them cuckoo people. That's how you resist. Yep, because some spirits know. They know. I've been caught up before. And I didn't realize it until years later. When I made up my mind to say I'm going to do right, I'm finna live right, years later, guess what? I end up in the non-fruitful relationship. God didn't tell me to get in that relationship. I ended up in that relationship and it cost me. Oh, I paid the price. Yeah, I paid the price. I paid the price spiritually. You best believe I paid that price. And you don't realize it because when you get caught up in lust and sin, it blinds you. It blinds you to the truth. It blinds you. That lust blinds you to all the red flags, all of when I tell you it blinds you, when lust comes in, it's a veil comes over your eyes. When you open that door to lust, that veil come over you and you be blind for years. The only way you get out of that if you start repenting and you start pursuing God, and he'll start showing you. the truth. Even if you in a relationship, some of y'all got married to people you shouldn't have been married to. Them people were not for you. They didn't know. They didn't want nothing of God. They wanted them. What you did was you made them your God. They became your God. They replaced God. Because when you got with them, you weren't thinking about God. They became your God. And that's what them spirits do. When you know that relationship is not of God, that person becomes your everything. You put them in a place where God should be. And you wake up 10, 20 years later and you wondering what happened to me. Where am I? Who am I? You don't know who you are because you left your God to make somebody else the God. They wanted to become God in your life. That's usually what happens. But it's a lot of people waking up, and I like that. I like seeing that. I like to see God's people waking up and knowing who their true God is, and knowing people are not their God, knowing the jobs are not their God, knowing family is not their God, knowing their spouse is not their God, knowing their job is not their God. They making that thing personal. People are pursuing relationships, knowing church. Okay, let's go there. A church building is not your God. Oh yeah. Oh, he waking up his people, and they're realizing the thing has to be personal. You got to have a personal relationship. You can't worry about all the religious tactics and antics. No, when that thing become personal, you'll see. You will see. You will see. But you become blind when lust is involved. You become blind. When I tell you, you be blind, you be blind. And you'll wake up 20, 30 years later. That's why people waking up in their 60s and 70s and realizing they've been in a relationship with a whole demon. Because they were blind. Not only were they blind personally, religion blinded some of these people. Religion blinded some of them and made them feel like they had to stay in situations that was not of God. You can't make a person love God. They'll use God to keep you in bondage, but you can't make nobody love God. You can't make them truly worship God. They want the benefits of God, but they don't want to do what they want the benefits, but they don't want to do what he does. They don't want to do what he do. All this submit and all that. You ain't following God. I ain't submit to you. I only submit to you if you following Christ. They want all these religious beliefs, but they don't want to do what he say. If that makes sense. You want the benefits, but you don't want to walk and follow him. How's somebody gonna follow you and you ain't following the person who created the rule in the first place? It's like, no. And people waking up. I'm loving this for people. They waking up. They finding their true identity. They're walking and creating their own path. Okay? Their own personal relationship. God is teaching them himself. Holy Spirit is teaching them in the secret place. Right? They learning and unlearning stuff they've learned that is not true, and they relearning stuff. Okay? I like seeing people finding out the truth. They're going on their own journey and walk for themselves. They're walking and believing and having their own personal relationship with God. It ain't about denomination. It ain't about religion. All these little religious little tactics, and you gotta do this and you gotta look this way. You gotta know when you invite God in, he gonna change you. He gonna show you. It's not about all this. You gotta look this way. You gotta dress this way. You gotta be fake. Most people who grew up in that religious, strong-willed church type thing, a lot of them people were fake. They couldn't be themselves. They were struggling with things they were really not delivered from because they were putting on a front. They were putting on the front. You got to let God, you got to go dirty. You go dirty and broken, and God will clean you up from the inside out. You don't get cleaned up from the outside in, and that's what people were doing. Church told them to put on this. You couldn't wear that. Put on this long skirt. Don't wear no makeup. Don't wear no nail polish. You're being seductive. The people don't know nothing about that yet. Don't make them feel bad. Don't put all that stuff on them until God cleans them up. He'll clean them up. He'll clean them up. Let people come as they are. Don't try to get them to change, and he'll convict them. One thing about that Holy Spirit, if you got it truly, oh, you're going to get convicted. You're going to get convicted. And he's going to convict you in your way, and personally in your way. Not what may be a conviction to me is not a conviction to the other person. And that's all right. Does that mean they're wrong? No. He didn't convict me about makeup. He didn't convict me. But will he convict somebody else? He'll convict them, because guess what? They've made that their God. He knows their heart towards certain things. Some people have made makeup their God. They won't even leave out the house without makeup. That's not my portion. I could be natural. I'm okay with or without makeup. I'm confident with or without makeup. That's not my portion. That's not my struggle. I have my struggles, and I know what I can't watch and what I, can't take part in. But there may not be somebody else, I got to guard my eye gate. It's certain things I can't look at. I have to guard my eye gate. I don't watch TV like that for a reason. God took that desire from me. People look at me like I'm crazy. You don't watch TV? What do you do? I got a life outside of television. There's a lot of things I could do. I'm working on my coaching business. I pray. I journal. Okay. I work out. I prepare me healthy meals. I plan my day for the week with my children or my son. Like, there's plenty of things I could do outside of sitting down, wasting time watching TV. If that's what you do, that's what you do. But for me, it's a waste of time. I don't have the time to just sit down and watch a show. I listen to a podcast, but I don't sit down and watch TV. That's no longer my thing. And it's okay. That's probably not your thing. One thing I don't like about people, they don't like for people to be individuals, right? They don't like people to stand and be an individual. One thing I didn't do with my kids, I didn't force my kids to choose a career or things that I want them to do, how I want them to live. No, you're going to have your choice. I can guide you, and I can probably look at some of your strengths and tell you certain things, but the ultimate decision is going to be up to them. Because what I may want them to do is not what God has for them. It may not be who they are as a person. Right? It may not be who they are as a person. So we got to stop living in this way of thinking everybody should be doing the same thing. And that's the thing about the chosen one too. Yeah, chosen ones are hated. Because we don't bend and we don't follow rules. We don't do what everybody else do and what they say we should do. We march to our own beat. Everybody be we be boom, 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 we got our own beat. Okay? People and you hear boom, boom, boom. That's us making our own. We on our own beat. And people hate that about us, and that's okay. That's who we are. We can't help that, because we know we're not meant to be put in a box. You try to box us in, you best believe we're gonna get outside that box. We're gonna get outside of it one way or another. You may have us inside that box, but you best believe in that box we create our own thing. You make it limit us, but in that limitation, you best believe we creating something that's unique to us. And we're not going to apologize for it. I'm very unapologetic now. I used to be so, apologizing it. No, I'm not doing that no more. I'm just this is me. You gonna take me as I am, or that's that. You don't have to be around me, and that's fine. Because I don't want to be around no fake energy anyways. I want you to be yourself, and I want you to allow me to be myself. I allow people to be free because I know God is working on us individually. But some people get jealous because they know you different. They just know you different. Like, and it's okay. Like, I understand people and they stuff. I understand people and they struggles. One thing about me, I understand people. That's just a gift God gave me. I can understand you without judging you. I can understand that you just ain't no good. And that's okay. I just know how to deal with you. But I understand that's a struggle. You just haven't found who you are yet. You just haven't done the work. And that's okay. But people always want to look at Flo. Y'all don't see Flo. I don't know if y'all don't see Flo growing, okay? Flo is growing. I just want to give a shout out. Hey, Phil. I'm Brenda Phillip. I just want to give a shout out to Flo because she is growing. Okay, Flo is doing her thing. Flo doing her thing. She is. But anyways, I hope y'all understand what I'm saying and where I'm coming from. And that's just, you just got to be you. Be uniquely you. Be uniquely you and don't apologize for it. Right? Flo showing out, Brenda. Child, Flo is showing out. I had to pull her back when I was working out. Flo can get a ponytail. Y'all won't see Flo get a ponytail now. Okay, she can get, y'all won't see Flo. I'm gonna stop being silly. See, when I go to get silly, I know it's time for me to go, But seriously, people got to learn to be them unique selves. God made us uniquely. He made us, for us not to like who we are, is us slapping God in the face. Because you telling God you don't like what you made. And I know the world want to get us to, to try to be like everyone else and the world try to get us to hide and try not to be genuine. But God wants you as your original self. He made you how he made you. You see how I was just able to just flow, talk, and just transition into something funny and get back to talking? God made me like that. That's just who I am. I don't run from that anymore. I tried to, even my kids were like, why are you like this? Why are you acting this way? They be like, Mom, why are you acting this way? I say, by now, y'all should know it's not an act anymore. Okay? It's not an act. It's just part of who mommy is. They enjoy it. They like the shenanigans. Their life would be dull without all the shenanigans. But, yeah, be uniquely you. And it's okay. Like, when people who want to control how you act and what you do, how you present to the world, they got control issues. They're not content with themselves. They hate themselves, so they want to try to control what somebody else do. I never believed in wanting to control people. Now, what I will do, if they just acting a plumb fool, I know how to exclude myself. But guess what? I'm going to let them be them. If they're bringing too much negative attention or doing things that are just over the top and disrespectful, I know how to exclude myself. That don't mean that I got to talk about them. That don't mean that I got to hate them. That just means I know how to put the church finger up and move out of the way. You put the little usher finger and you move out of the way. That's what that means. I know how to not go around people. Like, that is a skill for you to be able to let people be them. I be around people that I don't agree with, that my beliefs don't agree with certain things, but I can be around them for a period of time and not treat them no type of way. But I know that can't be my everyday. Okay, I know that, but I know how to treat people because people need to see the light. They need to see that somebody who have certain beliefs don't judge them or make them feel, because sometimes you can't help it because your light is going to irritate some demons, and that's just part of it. That's just, hey, it is what it is. So you can't control that. But people need to see that. I just know, I just let people be. I never wanted to dress my children, make them dress how I think they should dress. I wanted them to find their own identity and what's comfortable with them. Long as it ain't ratchet, okay? Long as it's not bringing some negative attention, let them find their way. They got to find their way. Just like me, I had to find my way because I did allow people to influence me and make me become something I knew I wasn't because I just didn't know, right? I just didn't know. And it wasn't a positive influence. It was just that I wasn't more of myself. I wasn't more of who I truly am. So I hope this message encouraged you all. Right? I hope it encouraged you all, and I hope that you picked up something from it. Because I sure got a revelation when I was in church today. Like, you can't tell people your secrets. Don't tell people where you get your strength from, what makes you you. That's not their business because it's not going to pertain. They can do what you do anyways. Look, this is why it don't make sense to tell anybody, because they can do the same thing you do and still not get the result because your plan is designed for you. God designed that plan for you. That's why you can have people copying you. They can copy how you dress. They can copy how you talk. They can copy what you do, but they still don't have the sauce. You the sauce. You put that extra oomph to it. You speaking from a place of experience. They making up stuff. You speaking from a genuine place of experience, and people can feel that. Yeah, you can lie and create something, but who wanna live in a lie? I know I don't. It's easy for me to tell the truth, so that's why I speak the truth. I don't have time to be trying to think about the lie I told 2 years ago. No, I'd rather tell the truth and move on. Let me tell the truth and move on out the way. I don't have time for that because it's just too exhausting. It's too exhausting for me. I like to live in truth. I like for people to be truthful with me. I like to tell the truth, and that's that. Because it's more peaceful for me. I like to sleep at night. So if I could tell the truth, I don't have to worry about no monkeys on my back. Right? Exactly. Exactly, Brenda. I don't like no monkeys on my back. I like to sleep good. You hear me? I like to sleep well. So I don't need to be worried about nothing. I don't need nothing on my brain. None of that. When I wake up, I just want to wake up and be free of issues and be free of things I can't control. That's why it's important it is important to be careful who you hang around, because when you hang around certain people and talk to certain people, their issues become your issues. You don't have them issues. You don't been through turmoil in your life. But then their issues, you don't got over your turmoil, and you don't got through your hardships. But now you connected to somebody to where their issues becoming your issues. They're running from their demons. Karma's trying to run them down, and karma gonna hit you because you connected to them. That karma is going to hit you now, or reaping what you sow. That's gonna hit you. Now you connected to them. Connecting to people I'm telling you, connecting to certain people, it's a powerful thing. You got to be careful who you connect with. That's a powerful thing. I don't even want to see. Before I grew spiritually, I be ready to connect with everyone. I'm just that friendly person. I'm a friendly spirit. I'm from the South. We got that Southern hospitality. But when God opened my eyes spiritually, no, I don't want to connect with everybody. I be testing spirits. Before I let you in, I'm testing spirits. I'm seeing how you talk about other people. I'm seeing how you talk. I'm watching everything. I'm seeing how you move. I'm watching what type of addictions you have, what you struggle with. I'm watching all that. I may not say nothing, but I'm paying attention because I know certain things. If you got these habits, it won't be long before I go to picking up certain things and saying certain things. So I got to be careful. Once I learn how spiritually powerful this is, I watch people for a long time. Before I befriend the person, met them today, I befriend them. Oh, let's go hang out. Let's go do this. No, I don't do that no more. I don't do that because I know it'll be detrimental to my spiritual growth if I bring certain people around. I've done too much work, and I'm not finna revert and backtrack because I got a certain person around and I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't know. I be hurting feelings now. I don't care. And I don't be rude about it, but I be like, no, I can't go out. But like, no, or I just won't let them in. They'll know they'll know that is a fine line. They'll know that, oh, she ain't finna let me cross this boundary. And before I used to be all in my feelings about that, but no, not anymore. How the work I had to do spiritually, I'm not finna let anybody just ruin that. It almost happened. It almost happened. But I had to fight back, get back on the right path, because God said the righteous will fall many times, but they get back up. I saw my mistake. I acknowledged my mistake. I repented, and I moved on. I didn't let that hold me back. Some people don't know how to not let things hold them back. Don't stay stuck in that. I learned to give myself the same grace that I've given everybody else. And some people have really dogged me out. So if I can give them grace and forgive them, I got to forgive myself. And no, I'm not, when I come here, I'm not talking like I'm a victim all the time. I only share my experiences because people can relate to that. People can relate to you being real and transparent. They can't relate to you coming on trying to sound like you got it all together, because I don't got it all together. I know one thing, I don't have it all together. I'm still fighting. I'm still fighting because I know what I'm fighting is generational. Okay? It's generational. And I know if I don't fight, I'm going to leave this mess for my kids. And I don't think they're strong enough to fight. My kids not strong enough to fight because, let me tell you why. Because they didn't have to endure the pain that I went through to make me as strong as I am. They had a good life. They had a soft life. My kids had a soft life. They didn't have to go through what I went through. See, I can fight because I was born, I came out the womb fighting. And that built me over time. I know. Hello, Shay Love. I haven't seen you in a while. I know I got the resilience to fight. I got the mindset and the mental toughness to fight. I know how to move around the snakes and the fakes and the phonies. I know how to do all that. My kids don't have that knowledge. They haven't been through that. I'm sure they experienced stuff in school, but they didn't experience the stuff that I've experienced that make me, to make me have the resilience that I have. To give me that fight that I got. They didn't have to go through that. So I don't want to leave this mess for them. They need to be starting off dealing with their own stuff, not the generational stuff that I'm stopping. I got to stop to keep the bulk of the mess from going to them. So I got to deal with it. I got to face it so they won't receive that. They didn't have the struggles and the self-esteem issues and the rejection issues and abandonment issues that I had. They didn't have the mommy issues and the daddy issues that I know of. I'm not aware of them at this moment. So if they come tell me something later, I just have to address it and deal with it. But they didn't have their mama not being there for them, their mama not wanting them, or their mama addicted to drugs and they just got to figure out life on their own. They didn't have that. They had a present mom. They had a dad that was there. Or have a dad that's there. They didn't have to deal with all that. We may not was able to give them what they felt we should have gave, but we gave what we had. Right? We gave what we had and what we knew. So if I don't fight, they're gonna have to pick up the weapon. They're not gonna know. They're not gonna have a point of reference because they didn't experience what I did. I have a point of reference because I've seen things. I know what's going on in the bloodline. They don't know what's going on in the bloodline. I only tell them, but they haven't seen. It's a difference when somebody telling you and you've seen it. If you witness that thing, that's a different experience. But when somebody telling you, it's not going to be as impactful as you saw it going on. You saw this craziness going on in the bloodline. So you know what to do. They don't know what to do. Unless God shows them what to do. You're welcome, Brenda. Unless God showed them what to do. But I know what I'm fighting against. I know the demons and devils in my bloodline. I know what spirits I'm up against. I've seen them. I saw them from birth. I had questions that nobody could answer, and I didn't want to seem like I was crazy because I had questions as a kid. Why this? Why that? You know? So I'm dealing with that because they didn't see it, so they can have them a clean slate and deal with the stuff they got to deal with. Because I got the fight in me. I'm a fighter. I just look like this. What's in me can't be seen, but I've been through some stuff. I've been through some trenches. I had to overcome what would have took most people out. I had to overcome a lot of things. Mental. People attacking you mentally, spiritually. And I had to fight through that. They have no support. I had to fight. It was me and God. Nobody came and rescued me. Nobody came and say, only person people probably did was my grandparents. Then when they died, I was on my own. Nobody say, let me go pray for Monique. You know, she's struggling. No, I had to find God. God had to help me through what I was going through. I couldn't call no family member to come pray for me. They talked about me. Couldn't find nobody. I ain't have no spouse that prayed for me, that really sat there and prayed and tried to war and help me fight. I ain't have that. Anything, people were against me. I had a lot of people coming up against me. And God had to teach me how to fight. He had to teach me how to pray and fight. I didn't have no support. But see, I got a point of reference. So I knew I wasn't crazy because I had a point of reference of what I saw. Because people look at you like, oh, that don't happen to people. Oh, that ain't. No, it ain't happened to you. You didn't experience it. But for me, I've experienced it. So you can't take away my experience. I had to learn to fight and be resilient. Because I wouldn't have made it. If I didn't have my faith that I have, I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't be here looking as vibrant and happy and joyous and able to come talk to you all. If I didn't tap into my true faith, I wouldn't be here. I'd be somewhere in the cuckoo house, counting backwards or something. I'd be somewhere in the cuckoo house. Somewhere. Count 10, 9, 8, 7, just nothing up. No, but my faith and me believing, being resilient, and doing the things that God showed me spiritually. He showed me to do certain things. I had to do those things. Oh, yeah, it's real, Shay. Child, listen. Look, girl. I talk about evil. Oh, I know evil. Look, I've experienced evil. I'm thinking about getting me, y'all help me out here. I'm thinking about creating a personal community. I've been thinking about this a while, and it won't be Facebook, because Facebook, I have a lot of people here. I just have a lot of subscribers, but I really want to create a community to where people really want what it is that I'm talking about. And I want to, really make it a private community, to teach people on different things and really to share some of my testimony on a more, on a higher level, because I only could be kind of mediocre here because it's like open to the public, and I do have to be mindful of what I say. But I'm really thinking about creating a personal community. I do have some paid members here on the membership, which is fine. And they're supporting the channel, and I appreciate it. But I really want to create a community where people want to grow, want to learn, want to know how they can move forward. And it's all spiritual. And it's all spiritual, because what I teach and what I've experienced, it's spiritual. This ain't no, you go say some 10 affirmations and this, that. No, you got to deal with the foundation. You got to deal with the root. And that's usually in that bloodline. That's usually in the bloodline, usually in things you don't say it, you didn't know you were saying, because our words are powerful. I'm very careful what I say out of my mouth, because what you say out of your mouth, you will eat the fruit thereof. You are self-fulfilling prophecy. When you keep talking about you're sick, when you keep talking about you won't have money, when you keep talking about this, that, and the other, oh, I don't be saying all that. I don't be speaking nothing. I don't speak nothing over myself and my kids. I don't want to happen. I'm very careful. And I know it's hard because you have to unlearn the ways of the world. People have made it normal for us to say, oh, I'm going, DIE, or I'm this, I'm that. No, you can't be saying that. Your words are powerful. Why you think you can remember what your aunties and your grandma said about you when you were 2, 3, 4, 5 years old? How they called you ugly and talk about you with dark skin and this, yeah, that stuff. It stays with you. Mm-hmm. It stays with you. Those are words. Those are curses. Curses always stay with you. I read somewhere where it said it takes 14 positive affirmations or something positive, 14 sayings, or you have to say something positive to combat one negative thing you speak over yourself. So if somebody called you ugly, or you called yourself ugly or stupid or something, now you got to go say 14 affirmations or repeat something scripturally 14 times to kill that negative word curse you just spoke. 14 to 1. So that means you shouldn't be saying it. I said that's powerful. I don't be saying nothing. I'll just be quiet. If I can't say nothing, like the old folks used to say, if I don't have nothing good to say, I just don't say it at all. And that's the best way to be. Because you'll ensnare yourself. You'll trap yourself in bondage by your words. I said I wasn't going to be here long, and here I am, 47 minutes in. That's why I need to take this. Look, I need to take this off YouTube and go and create my community. Yeah, I be careful. I just be quiet, because I'm like, I want to live in abundance, and I want to be joyous and happy, and I don't want to be speaking no ill over myself. I don't even be speaking. People think you be in denial or delusional because you can see something going on and you don't come into agreement with it. And I'm glad I know enough to know that my words are powerful and not to come into agreement with things that I shouldn't be coming to agreement with. No, I didn't start my locks. I went to a loctician. I didn't do it myself. I'm so glad I knew. Even, and this, let me tell you how powerful it is. Even when I talk about this, but I don't talk about it a lot from this perspective. Even when my oldest son, he went through a lot of things, right? And I remember what the doctors were saying. I remember what his grandmother was saying. I remember I remember things being spoken over him. But in my spirit, God told me not to come into agreement with that. God told me not to come into agreement. So as his mother, I had to not come into agreement with it. Although his grandmother was speaking ill over him, the doctors were saying certain things. And me and his mom, I had to come and stand on what God said. I had to stand on truth and call those things that are not as if they were. And you best believe what I didn't come into agreement with, it eventually left. He eventually got delivered from certain things because I didn't come into agreement with that. Because sometimes people want to speak ill over you. They want to speak curses. And they don't want you to flourish, and they don't want you to grow, because your growth means they have no more control. So they want to speak ill over you. Speak ill over your children because they want to keep them in a low place. The devil will use your family. The devil will use your parents. The devil will use your grandma and them what we say down here in the South, the devil will use these people to keep you ensnared, to keep you in bondage. They'll use them to speak death over you. Yeah, this and yeah, that. That's why y'all had your grandmas, especially the grandmas from the South, some of them. I never had it because my grandmothers were loving. I had loving grandmothers. I was blessed to have the grandmothers I had. I was so blessed. Okay? One brought me up teaching me about God. The other one, she spoke to me about God, but she spoke to the future me. She spoke to the greatness in me. And we spent a lot of time together, of course. So I had good experiences, but I know everybody don't have that. And see, with me, I know God always looked out for me. Although I didn't have my mom there because she was going through her own things, he sent me two grandmothers who did what they could. They taught me what they could. I don't feel no type of way about the things I didn't get. I don't feel no type of way about that. He gave me